And yeah, so
Yeah?
So, well, hey, welcome to the Christmas episode, weirdos.
Ho, 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 motherfuckers! Oh, that was kind of rude.
Yeah, whatever.
My bad.
So we, Tom wanted to cram another one in. So, well, to start off, I am Mike Eshelman.
Oh, and I'm Tom Arnholt.
And we are jamming another Christmas episode in. Now, Tom, I went the extra mile. Not only did I watch the movie, I read IMDb, but I also wanted to recreate part of the movie here in the episode. So I have a Voice of Christmas Past as a special guest tonight.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, look.
Live from the closet.
Surprise!
Wow. Positive Peg.
How are you?
What a Christmas present.
It's just too good. It's just too good.
Absolutely.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Living the dream out here in the devil's anus.
Yeah? Not good, huh?
Oh, I can't wait to leave.
When do you get to leave?
As soon as cybersecurity deems that it is okay for us to work remotely.
Understood. Gotcha.
So, hopefully within a year. We're getting the bathrooms redone right now, so we're making the improvement, the necessary improvements to get the house sold.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
Cautiously optimistic, as with all things.
Of course. Well, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to your green room because they had my beverage of choice. So I always appreciate that when you take care of me. So thank you. I'm having a nice margarita here with you gentlemen tonight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
We take care of our guests. So, while you were fumbling around with,
sorry about that.
Your web browser.
Yes.
I was introducing the concept that we were going to, look at Scrooged through the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia. As far as I got before you texted me was that this came out in 88. And that's all the further we got. So you are now up to speed.
Because I hemmed and hawed and stuttered and bantered about thinking that it would be cut out. And so that, we might,
Yeah, because I can't edit my way out of a wet bag. So that won't be happening.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's authentic. It's real.
Whenever you hear static in our show, like bleeps and stuff, I'm doing that with my mouth during the editing. Like, since I don't know where the buttons are, I just go.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That's phenomenal.
We do what we can. So, Peggy, tell us about your history with Scrooge. Do you remember watching this when it came out?
So, funny story. This came out in 1988, so I would have been all of 18 years old, as were you. And we were not allowed to watch Scrooged. It was, one of those, I know, Mary, may she rest in peace. She picked and chose her battles, and that was one of them. So I didn't actually see it probably till like 5 to 10 years after it came out.
No shit. So what about it what was her issue with it?
Probably just Bill Murray. And just being unpredictable. Is it rated R?
Don't think
Yes. Okay.
I would assume
then
so,
that's why.
There was
that's why.
Several F-bombs and some language.
Yes, that was why then, because it was rated R.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll see. First of all, let me preface this with, I loved.
So did I. Thank you.
One of my favorite teachers of all time.
I'm so
ever.
glad.
Tops of teachers, mentors. You have it. Perhaps she had an issue that with the translation of the source material.
That could be. That could very well be.
Which I thought was brilliant, but I can understand where a purist may have an issue.
This is very true. Right. I really think it was because of a rated R movie. That's all it was, because it was rated R. And we were not allowed to really see rated R movies.
That's fair.
Yeah. But
my wife Sarah was in a similar situation growing up, so I don't think she saw this until much later.
Yeah. But I do remember seeing it, though, within like the next 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Thought it was funny. Thought it was.
Did it resonate?
Yeah, totally. Especially because at that time I was really getting into Saturday Night Live, and watching Saturday Night Live. That would have been probably the time, around when I was in Chicago, and visiting friends in Chicago. And I just remember we would always, go out, but we always ended up at somebody's apartment to watch snippets of Saturday Night Live before going out again. So yeah.
Great.
So every time I see Scrooged like advertised, I'm like, oh yeah. So I do. I have a positive memory of it. What about you? What about you guys?
Well, Tom, this was your topic, man. Tell us about your history with Scrooged.
I remember seeing this in '88 when it first came, when it came out, when it was released, and honestly, my grades and probably Peggy, your mom's recollection would probably not support this, but I was a fan of Dickens from a very young age, and. So yeah, again, I loved the source material, and I loved, this take on it.
Right.
The modernization of it completely mirrored the times, and it was a great update and adaptation, I thought. Plus, the obvious hat tip throughout the film of during a production of A Christmas Carol, this happens. So I thought that was quite clever to sort of dovetail that into the whole thing. And then in '88, we remember, we had Gecko telling us green is good. Remember, the '80s were penny stocks. It was all about money. It was greed. Right. It was big business TV. The promo that he shows, he's like, that promo sucks. And then he's like, here's my promo. And there's like nuclear explosions and people being shot.
Right, like Die Hard, right? Like a Die Hard promo, yeah.
Like, oh, wow. And then, like, an old lady died when she watched it.
Yeah.
This was a good thing. Like, it was so very 80s. It's sort of how that mirror up is like, really, is this who we are?
Right.
So I loved that part of it. And a TV executive was the perfect Scrooge in this story.
Right.
So as an 18-year-old, I was aware of this sort of bullshit going on in the world, and so it resonated. It worked to me.
Okay.
What about you, Ash?
Okay.
Ash?
By the time this came out, I think I was already getting jaded. So I didn't connect with this when I was 18. I saw Bill Murray, who I don't think he had done any comedy since Ghostbusters. So it'd been like 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like here he is in this like adaptation of A Christmas Carol. And I'm like, I'm not buying it. Now, I probably ended up seeing it in the theater just because we had nothing to do on Fridays anyways. But again, I was so negative. So I guess I had this like reverse nostalgia. So I maybe watched it in its entirety twice since then. In 35 years.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it more than a handful of times between.
But watching it
now.
For this episode? Holy shit, it's amazing. I will admit, I laughed out loud in an empty room. And I actually teared up a little bit at the end, too.
Dude, so did I.
Same.
I felt stupid. Same. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah.
Right? It's that Richard Donner bullshit. Like they play just the right piano note and like fucking Pavlov's dog. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Right? He's got that F note. That F note. Instead of shit in your pants, you cry. Donner!
Oh my
He's got
God.
it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was funny as hell. It still resonates. As far as like timelessness goes, I think the only like very dated joke was the Richard Pryor on
Oh
fire
my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And then the other dated thing that was just kind of funny to me, of course, was the Pioneer VCR, right? Like that was the gold in those days. Like
that was
VCR.
That was like a $300 gift back then.
Exactly.
It was like a $600.
You're probably right. Yeah, and that box was gigantic too. It was so big.
Right.
Yes.
I love that. Fucking Pioneer.
But one of the little what do you want to call it? Like surprise treats for me was seeing Wendy Malick as like a 12-year-old.
Right?
She has been in television and movies forever.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was just so fun to see her like so young.
Oh yeah.
But I agree on,
and she wasn't bitter yet.
I agree on the Richard Pryor joke though. And I talked to my husband too, because he just watched this a couple weeks ago. And he saw it when it first came out. And he said the same thing about the Richard Pryor joke. He's like, yeah. But that's the only thing, right?
That's going to sit in, that'll send any interested Gen Zer Googling. What the fuck is that about?
And it's not like it was tasteless by any means. You know, there were no like...
Dude lit himself on fire.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like we're not offending anybody's sensibilities. Like free base and coke lit himself on fire.
I mean,
love Richard Pryor. No disrespect at all to Richard Pryor.
Of course not. Of course not.
Pioneer.
Absolutely.
A brilliant fucking comedian. But yeah, I think out of the entire thing, that one little line is really the only big red flag. This is from the 80s,
right?
Kind of thing. Yep. Other than the cast, but yeah. And again, I didn't IMDb this before I watched it, so I remember the gist of it, and I remember like the big hand of the Ghost of Christmas Future, and that was like it. So when Buster Poindexter came blowing around the corner in that cab, I'm like, holy shit.
That was amazing. With the lights inside and everything. I was like, and then they go back to his neighborhood in 1955 and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm back in my childhood. Like all the colored lights, no white lights anywhere. Just there were all the colored lights on all the houses except Bill Murray's, except Frank's house.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Here's your veal.
Veal. Like the 5-pound thing of veal.
Awesome. I love how he tries to justify it to David J. Hansen. Like, let's buy today's dinner. It's $50 worth of milk-fed beef.
I was dying at that.
That's a thoughtful gift.
Milk-fed beef. Oh,
God. You're 4.
Oh. So I have a question for both of you about Bobcat Goldthwait, right? Like, when you saw it as young gentlemen, you know, what was Bob's reputation at that point? Was that kind of like his breakout movie? I don't even know.
Police Academy.
Police Academy, I think, was before this. Okay.
Yeah. And remember, I had HBO.
Oh, so right. You were all fancy.
HBO used to have all the stand-up. I mean, that was the only place you could watch stand-up back then was HBO. So I had known Bobcat from like the young comedian specials that would be on and things like that. So I was familiar with him. He was fucking amazing in this movie. I mean, he plays the same character every show.
Essentially,
so
yeah.
It's not a stretch, but he was so funny in this, though.
This was great. I loved him in this. I mean, he was the perfect person for Elliot Loudermilk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know the name is
the
so
Loudermilk, right?
It's so perfect. It's just so perfect. And even like the little pratfalls of the taxi cab splashing him with water, and so his paper bag bursts in the
all of it.
Just so beautiful. I mean, it was so beautiful.
Just such brilliant touches that, yeah. We're not just watching this man's descent. We're actively kicking him down the stairs every scene he's in.
Yep.
Yes. Uh-huh.
My breakout, my big, not revelation, but Alfre Woodard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who I've come to just absolutely love.
Yes.
I'd forgotten that she was in this. But wow. I mean, she's great in this.
Right.
Which was not surprising because she's great in everything I've ever seen her in.
I mean, if you take that cast and like just put a pin in this movie and then look at how far they had come since then, bar none, she's made the biggest leaps in her career since this point.
Yeah. Absolutely. Except for Robert Mitchum or John Forsythe.
Well, they had a history before that, too.
Oh, yeah, but they're dead.
So she wins. That's how it works, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Well, I think Alfre Woodard kind of just wins in general. She's phenomenal.
Right? Yeah. She's like the working man's CCH pounder. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but you are.
And I'll tell you what, who had me cracking up laughing when I was watching this, and we talked about this a couple months ago too, but fucking Carol Kane, man.
Oh, yes.
Every scene she was in was hilarious.
Yeah.
And they had to have so much fun filming that too. How much of that was just ad lib? Just her riffing with Bill Murray.
So glad you brought that up because she was the every frame that she was in was brilliant.
Yes.
Carol Kane was just absolutely phenomenal in this. And then we reviewed Taxi earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that was kind of her entrance, I think, into the industry, and that's who we knew her as. And so to have her be this person, it's like, oh my God, she was so fantastic.
Right?
Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a toaster bar. It's just the abuse that she delivered upon Bill Murray. The lip, the ear flick, the whole thing. I mean, my God. She's so brilliant. Funny. She was absolutely hilarious to watch.
She is.
So I'm taking it that just the way we're talking about this, that it's aged well. And you don't need nostalgia to appreciate this for what it is.
No, I don't think you've needed to see this in the 80s or 90s to make this an enjoyable movie. And dude like you, towards the end there, when he breaks into the set and he's like, hey, stop. And he's giving his speech. It just goes on. And it does seem like it goes on for a long time.
Right.
But it's, for lack of a better word, it's powerful.
Oh,
it's moving. It hit me. Like he says earlier, we want to pull all the heartstrings. And dude, he did.
Right.
That's a great rant.
Yes, the exact moment that it got me. So he's going through his speech, he's walking through the cast and everything, and he gets closer to the camera, and he pulls Claire on, and then they pan over to her office, and all the people at the homeless shelter just go, "Yay!" Yeah. That's what got me. Like that snippet when they panned over, I'm like, oh, I was done for.
Totally.
I think that was punch 2 for me. The first was just like when he's just ranting, and he's like, you get greedy for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that got me. It's like you do this today, and then you do it every day, and then you get greedy for it,
right?
And that's what hit me. I don't know why, but that this is like happiness, joy, kindness is the best kind of infection that we could spread.
Mm-hmm. So now here's something interesting, right? Because I'm 52 years old, so I am. I know. Cheers to you.
You don't look a day over 46.
Thank you so much. But one of the things these days is being woke, right? Like being woke about whatever. And the one thing that Tim brought up that I did not bring up, again, my husband Tim, was that there is a lot of misogyny in this movie. That no, and all I'm saying, I just want to say that for any, because I can just hear it, like any woman listening is gonna be like, but Peg, why didn't you say about the misogyny? But you know what? Here's the thing: when I watched it,
why is the black woman the secretary?
No. But
the only black person in the movie is a secretary.
Well, there are several black people. She got her whole family. It's all good. And little Calvin, how cute is he? I actually looked him up on IMDb. He worked from 1988 to 1990. Boom, done. He's out. Because I was like, I wonder if he did anything else. All I wanted to say is when I was watching it, I felt that way a little bit in the beginning. But then throughout the rest of the movie, they have that little fight. He and Claire, right? They have that little fight and everything. Right. But I didn't really get a lot of that, to be honest. So the only reason I'm bringing that up is that, you wonder, like, will this generation watch it and be like, oh, he's such an asshole because, he's such a male chauvinist pig, white guy, whatever.
He's such a man.
But I personally did not have that reaction. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, okay, so the only female executive for that television station was also, and there was all innuendo, but you assumed that they were sleeping together.
Yes.
So,
at some point,
you have one female executive, and she's like giving him a massage and things like that. So, questionable. Does it deserve a trigger warning at the beginning?
No, right. That's my point. Thank you. That's my point.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, Peg. With the massage thing, I don't think. It's hard to say, from my perspective, if the current, the Z's and the younger millennials have experienced, bad bosses like that.
Yeah.
Right.
The assumption is, bad bosses are not new. They're not old. They're infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it, regardless of race, creed, color, gender, you're going to have bad bosses. So as long as they can connect the dots and kind of do the math that, this guy's just a real dick.
Right.
Insert the filter on top of this guy, and it's very relatable.
I think you're 100% right.
If they can, if they are equipped to do those sort of mental gymnastics,
right.
Which,
yeah, and it is, like you said, it's a take on the Charles Dickens classic. So if you're not familiar with that, then you're already lost, right? So,
right,
yeah. Again, if you're not familiar with the source material,
the source material.
Yeah, I'm sure Scrooge slapped an ass every now and again when he was going through the grocery
sure he did. For sure.
That needs to be pinched.
Right.
Hey, Tiny Tim, give me that little butt cheek. He's a cute little butt cheek.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, you've heard worse.
Okay, speaking of
I've
which,
said worse.
Sidebar.
I still love you.
Oh, I love you too.
So, I saw Peggy a few weeks ago down in Cincinnati. We were at this little taco joint drinking margaritas and whatnot. And Peggy said so many wonderful things about everybody at the table and was charming and funny and witty. But my favorite quote of hers the entire night was, "I've kissed a lot of assholes." And and every time I think of it, I laugh out loud. That's my takeaway from that night.
What?
Damn.
Why did I?
All the wisdom you probably spilled on that table. That's what he left with.
Holy shit! Yes. What were we? Can we give some context for the folks at home?
Can I make something up, or do you tell the truth?
Listen, I love Tim, but
right. I'm a huge fan of Starfish.
Oh my god! Oh
no! The best part of that Suicide Squad movie.
Oh.
I think we were just talking about like guys.
Oh.
And shitty men in general. And Peggy just said, "I've kissed a lot of assholes." But again, I was sort of bouncing around all the different conversations at the table, and I just happened to move over to Peggy's side of the table for a second, and that's all I heard. I'm like, why was I listening to these other idiots?
Yeah.
I want to know what the fuck's going on over here, right?
Yeah.
There's potential analingus being discussed.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't I order the tossed salad?
I must have been speaking to our other friend who was there, who was perhaps dealing with some love issues of her own.
Yes. That's exactly what it was. Like talking about online dating and stuff.
Oh, yes. Yes. Now there's something I've never done.
Yeah, we talked about that. And so that's something that I dwelled on for a while, that there are people our age that have never been on Tinder or any of the other dating sites just because they settled in, built their nest, and did their thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I strongly caution every listener to avoid online dating. That is all.
Some of us don't have a choice. I mean, I don't go to church. No. So I'm not going to picking up somebody at church would be like uber creepy.
But no, when I was deployed.
Did you kiss a lot of assholes?
No. I didn't kiss any assholes.
Oh, that's good.
There was no kissing. In a war zone.
But like a third of the porn industry disagrees with you, but continue.
I know, those are great.
When you were deployed.
So, yeah, you get like, what am I going to do when I'm able? And yeah, I forget the site because this was the 2000.
Okay.
No, not even. This was 99.
Were there sites then?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Craigslist.
not Craigslist. I forget what it was.
Oh my god!
But yeah, it was Angie's List.
And done.
Yeah. I got a project for you.
Must be able to spackle.
And carry at least.
Oh my god, Craigslist.
Serious offers only.
Oh wow. So, but there was some kind of like dating app in Germany. I mean, in the place you were deployed.
No, this was I was in the Balkans.
Oh.
Oh wow.
No, but it was like with American chicks. Because when I got back, I had 2 dates lined up for when I got back to Texas, and
wow,
those were bad. Those are bad
dates.
thankfully, like a few months later, I met my wife.
Thank God.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So avoid the online. Well, again, I can't caution the current generation because, like, if I were to find myself in that situation now, dude, I work, I watch TV, and like I do this.
Right.
Like this is like my thing. This is the only thing I look forward to. Like that's not work or life. Not the only thing I look forward to.
No, I get it. I get it.
That's not accurate.
Yeah.
But because think about it, my life is fantastic. But as far as like, I don't have any hobbies. This is like the thing I do that's not other stuff.
Okay,
it's required.
So I wonder if I think it's like all things, instead of avoiding, I think just know what each of the platforms are for.
Yeah.
There's no rule book. You sort of have to dig around and find out for yourself. But yes.
But like here's my limited knowledge is Tinder is not necessarily the place for long-term relationships.
Right.
That's my understanding as well.
Okay, great. That's it. There we are. I'm done. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Well, Match.
Okay.
I mean, Match.com, which is like back to one of the very first ones.
Okay, so Match and eHarmony are both, that long-term relationship thing. Yeah. Plenty of Fish is like for cheap people and gross people because there's no fees. Craigslist used to be a great place to find victims, but they've done away with those subs since then.
That's unfortunate.
Tinder, yes. If you just if you're out anyways, yup.
Okay. What about Bumble? Okay, Bumble.
Very female centric. It's skewed towards the woman. She's 100% in charge of all the interactions, so it's a little bit safer than Tinder.
Well, unless she's a serial killer, but okay, yeah.
Hey, man. Sometimes you take what you can get.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, actually, I think we've all dipped our toe in that water.
In the serial killer water, or in Bumble.
Yep,
serial killer. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, she's crazy. I don't think she's that crazy, dude. I'll be fine. Dude, they'll hear from me in 48 hours.
Dude, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's come a long way since 1999, I think. I hope. Still a lot of weirdos out there. Oh
yeah.
Oh,
and the thing is, the weirdos have formed a collective. They've organized into unions. It's nothing against unions. I get it. Woody Guthrie, yeah. God bless USA. All right, so there's strength and power, and I think they've found each other.
No, there's some lone psychos out there.
Oh, you're always going to have your lone wolves. That's what makes things
source
really
by fall of 2021. Yeah, there's yeah. The second the third crystal comes out with an explanation of what it does and its power, I'm out. That's when, I get that emergency call oh, my dog's on fire? I gotta go, It's been real. Deuces.
Are you talking actual crystals? I'm lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she brings out crystals and she's like, this is the power of the
healing power of this one. And,
yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Some people are really into crystals and, what they can do, the powers they hold and all this kind of stuff. And they have
back in the 90s?
Yeah, it's huge now, dude. Huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Scrooged,
bring us back.
There's no we meander so hard. And Peggy, I know you're not a voracious listener, but I had this great idea a few months ago that since by the end of the show we sort of derail because by then the alcohol had kicked in and we go off on these rants. My idea was we need to start drinking about an hour before the show.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is like that.
Yeah.
It's just us babbling incoherently.
Oh, is that where we are now?
About nothing. Not yet.
Okay, no,
Not
good.
Yet.
Okay. Oh, good.
You got about one word of whatever he's drinking, and then all hell breaks
loose. Can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm here. I'm all in.
I'm out, so we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of which.
Just kidding.
So, 2 years ago, you were supposed to find us homeless Watterson people, Peggy. How's that going?
Okay.
Yeah?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did.
It is not so good in terms of finding people who are homeless from Watterson, but I do have some interesting statistics to share with you on the homeless population. Okay. Do you know, it's actually kind of like pop quiz.
Are you going to ask people to send money at the end of this?
What? Am I going to what?
Are you going to solicit?
Yes.
Donations at the end of this?
Maybe. Okay. It's a surprise. Okay. So where do you think Ohio ranks in terms of homelessness in all the 50 states?
14.
27.
We are 34th, as a matter of fact. 34th. Now, the number one state, I bet you can guess the number one state where homelessness is the most prevalent. You are incorrect. It is New York. Guess.
Really?
Yes, I know.
Well, those fucking homeless are stupid. Move to where it's warmer more often.
Right. It's so cold there.
Okay, now here's the next thing that's going to blow your mind. California is not even second. Guess what the second state is that has...
Washington.
No.
Rhode Island.
No.
Hawaii.
It is Hawaii. No. It is Hawaii. Really? Yes, it's Hawaii.
How did they get there?
This is my question as well.
Well, they were rich before they got there, probably.
So the percentage of homeless population and chronically homeless is like 28% in Hawaii. And
get the fuck out.
I know. And I had the same question as you. I thought maybe you guys might know, like, how do they get there? I mean, do we just have,
Well, that begs the question. Are they, for lack of a better adjective, indigenous Hawaiians?
Well, right.
Or are they imports?
Right.
Well, I mean,
if they're imports, well, then they probably shot their wad getting there to live their dream, and then shit, okay, I got nothing, I can't leave.
Right.
If they're local, well, then that kind of requires a look at the economy of the state. What is joblessness like? What industries are going tits up?
Right. So here, and here's something else, because I do want to be accurate in my numbers. I'm using the numbers based on the total homeless population per 10,000 people. So, for example, it's 45% of every 10,000 people that live in Hawaii are homeless, which is, it only comes to, I shouldn't say only, it comes to 6,000 people, whereas in California, because it's a bigger state, obviously that number comes to 151,000. So technically there are more people who are homeless, but the higher percentage is in Hawaii.
I'll be damned.
And so
151,000 in California seems low.
Right? But that's what it is. Let me check the date on this. Oh no, this came out, it's 2021. So then you have to wonder, okay, is the Hawaii thing because 2021, people stopped traveling, are people out of work because of the tourism industry, hospitality industry.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the bulk of their industry is hospitality based.
Tom, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is it the indigenous people there where this is generational homelessness?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Where like welfare becomes a family business sort of thing.
Right. Because, I mean, they sort of reinvented the wheel in Hawaii where they pushed all the indigenous people out of the way.
Yeah.
So the white man could have another hotel and casino.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, if you look at the amount of people there, they may not necessarily, may not replicate a New York homeless situation where they're on the little vent on the sidewalk. But if you're on the other side of the mountain living in a shack, I think that counts too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, absolutely. This could be generation upon generation of homeless people, which, your numbers make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the thing, of course, too, about homeless people is that I'm not sure how they gather their numbers, but I'm sure in all the states it's higher than is what is reported.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what I got for you.
Again, you've got to filter in how many of those are voluntarily.
Well, oh my gosh! So it's so funny you say that.
You can't discount that.
No,
it's a thing.
It's a thing. So let's talk more about that. Tom, what is your experience? No, it's really fascinating to me. Like, what is your experience with people who are voluntarily homeless?
I've interacted with several since I've been here in California. Because I'm not the asshole I appear to be on this show. So I will I interact with homeless people and those that are in need. And over the almost 10 years I've been here, the majority of the homeless people I've interacted with, and this is like face to face. This is not, not that I've got email or bullshit, but this is like face to face, like flesh to flesh sort of interaction. Like, hey, what do you need? Like they're like cool with it. Like this is like their choice. Because I've been to the shelters that are in my area, and I've been to the food kitchens, and I know it's not popular to say, but for a lot of the people that I've interacted with personally, this is a life choice.
Right.
Whether it's from the three of us sitting here, that seems crazy. So obviously they're fucked up, but no, they're human Americans, and this is their choice. So I don't.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy to me.
I struggle with that idea a lot because I was brought up, as I think we all were, with you get as hard as you put.
Right.
Yeah.
And homelessness was always like the thing that you like were the scaredest of.
Yes.
That or incarceration. Or
incarceration, yes. Yeah.
And so, to deal with this, to interact with these people, it's like, I can't get my mind around this. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But, and then the media puts out these numbers. Oh, homeless, it's a crisis. And, Gavin Newsom, it's a crisis. It's a crisis. No, it's a fucking choice for most of these people. Again, one of the frustrations of living in California as a sentient, intelligent being. But, I think the numbers, the data is skewed or is incorrect unless it includes that aspect of that homelessness population.
I also think, I think it's interesting too. And I'm speaking from a place of complete ignorance, and I admit this, but I think it's interesting that, in California, I don't want to say this because, oh my gosh, I'm hearing it in my head, but I'm going to say it anyway. Perhaps in a nicer climate, it's it's easier. Oh God, how can we really say that? It's easier. Like in Hawaii, like I'm like, oh, okay. You know, if worst comes to worst, we'll go live on a beach in Hawaii. Right.
Right.
Right. Because so that's just very interesting to me. Right. Because obviously like in Minnesota, you know, in very, very cold, bitter cities. And I lived in Minneapolis for a while, and those people, I don't think they're choosing it, you know, like they're freezing and they're, like bundled up with 100 different sleeping bags and sleeping on a mat. And it's heartbreaking. Yeah. But if they could get to California, I'm sure they'd be like, hey, this isn't, you know, this isn't as bad as, you know, as it
you don't have Mother Nature against you, with everything else you're going through.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to live rough.
I also wonder if kind of like in California, New York, and the bigger cities, well, I'm going to say this. I mean, they have the resources, right? They have the places, but I also know in California, right before I left my big healthcare job, you know, schizophrenia running rampant in California. And, you know, that renders a lot of people homeless because they don't get the support from their family. They don't get the medicine they need. They don't have the facilities set up for them.
Mm-hmm. True.
So
I know back in the 80s, mental health on a federal level was I forget what the heck it was. Oh God, for lack of Ronald Reagan deregulated several of the mental health benefits, shall we say. And that ended up opening, for lack of a better term, the floodgates.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that was a huge spike in homelessness starting in the 80s. I do not think that mental health statute has ever been readdressed in the years
100%,
since.
yes.
Right.
And I think the majority of obviously, I think the majority of those that are not voluntarily homeless, like I'm going to spend my life camping on the street, the majority of those are mental health issues.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of it, obviously, special interest to me are the homeless veterans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and it spiked at the end of the Vietnam War when those folks came home and could not find a place. They could not find a home. They came back to the United States and were not home.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it just kind of continued from that. There's benefits. Hey, here's your GI Bill. Well, I'm fucked up, so I'm not going to go to college.
Right.
I'm damaged. But nobody wanted to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bulk of the homeless people have the same kind of deal. Those that aren't voluntarily. They're damaged, and there's no conduit. There's no access for them. But there's not enough.
Right.
Yes, and that's something that over and over again when
normalcy, quote unquote,
when we do like just our typical bullshit episodes where we just make fun of people, a lot of those episodes end with us saying, you know, honestly, if this country were better situated to help people with mental health issues, we wouldn't have a podcast. These people would be getting the assistance that they need, and they wouldn't be going into Denny's topless throwing plates, you know? They'd be somewhere with the help that they need.
Oh my gosh, I got to tell you a story about the grocery store today. So I'm in the grocery store this morning at Kroger. I promise it relates. And there's this woman who is in clearly a wheelchair of her own. And her husband is pushing her around the store. And when I got close to her, so she's like, let's say she's in her late 60s, early 70s. So is he. When I got closer to her, she smelled like a brewery. And she was just like whining to him and yelling at him about the different groceries she needed. And it was crazy town. I was highly uncomfortable because my dad was manic depressive bipolar. So I'm like, whoo, stay away from me. This is not, we're full up of crazy here. But it was very interesting because I felt so bad for her husband, who was like pushing her around the store. You know, like at the very beginning when they got there, he put a cart in front of her and she was like, I push it. Like, seriously, you know, she's like 69 years old. But then in the checkout lane, though, they had this kind of beautiful moment where she was like in the line and she would push herself off of the sides of the lane, and like her wheelchair would just like go scooting back a little bit. And she would laugh, and then she'd pull herself forward and push herself back again. And he was laughing because she was laughing, but it just hit me. It's like, it's everywhere, right? Like it's everywhere. Yeah. People are struggling, and she's very lucky that she has him, you know, to stand by her and be with her.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how crazy is it that Mary Lou Retton played herself in the 1988 movie Scrooged?
Not at all. I couldn't think of casting anybody else as Tiny Tim.
Right? I mean, she seemed like the perfect choice.
I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I thought she was just great.
Did any of you notice that they kept using the same clip?
Yes. Okay. I was going to say it. I was going to say it, but I didn't want to be like negative Nancy. But yes,
they paid her for 10 minutes of her time and 3 flips. Yep. Okay, that's what we'll use.
Done. From multiple angles. We'll use it from the different angles and inside the camera and outside the camera with the green screen, without a green screen. Oh, it was amazing.
Because it always ends on that same guy standing behind her.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, that was really funny.
I was thinking, did they pay her by the flip? Or was
they must have
a block of time?
She must have been like, look, bitches, I got 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, if you think about, so if this came out in 88, when they were filming, she was probably training for the Olympics.
That's a very good point.
So, yes, I will take Richard Donner money, but I don't have time to fuck around.
Right.
So we're going to do one take, and I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, quick sidebar.
Like Buddy Hackett. Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Like Buddy Hackett.
Oh, I was going to say Buddy Hackett probably just sat there and ate all the craft services that he could.
Oh, Buddy Hackett and fucking Johnny Houseman, probably the same thing. Like,
right?
Like he sat, like the scene they cut to him and he's with his headphones in. I'm like, that was him the entire time. Like, had this been done now, this would have been like, yeah, let me zoom this in.
Yes.
I'm John Houseman. I was in the Paper Chase and a couple other things. I'm
sorry, Peggy. I stomped on you. What were you trying to say?
No, not at all. Not at all, Ash. So, what other films did Donner do? Because like back in the day, I did not really pay attention to that whole thing, and I was all into like John Cusack and the Breakfast Club kids and all that, but I wasn't really paying attention to like directors, writers, blah 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 blah. So
okay. Lethal Weapon.
All the Lethal Weapons, I think. Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Goonies? Does that sound right?
Really?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Goonies.
I know he did Lady Hawk.
Yep.
Lady Hawk was one of my favorite films ever.
Right?
Yes.
The Superman movies.
The Superman. No, let's go back to Lady Hawk. Oh my God! When the sun is coming up, and they're like
Michelle Pfeiffer, Rutger Hauer, they had the and poor look at Matthew Broderick just running around the hills, just trying to keep him alive. Fuck! That was a great movie.
Oh my God, it was so good. I did not want that movie to end ever.
No,
it was so good. Okay, so thank you. That's cool. So those are also Donner movies. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Did they also use the F chord in those movies? They must have, because I cried like a baby.
Yes.
Tried.
All of them. I don't think I cried at Superman 2.
No.
I didn't cry at Lethal Weapon 2.
No. I don't really remember the premise of Lethal Weapon 2. I gotta be honest.
It's the premise of Lethal Weapon 1, wasn't it?
The one where the white crazy guy and the black old guy.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Solve a crime.
I'm Australian and sad because my wife's dead.
I live in a trailer with a really cool dog.
Yeah.
Oh, where is the one where he lives on the beach? Is that 1 or 2 with the dog?
Yeah.
All of them. Okay.
All of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because that's right. The helicopters come in and they blow his fucking trailer up.
Well, not
the
only
the dog's got a hatch. I thought that was brilliant.
They fucking perforate it. There's like 75,000 holes in this thing. It's held together by the holes.
Yeah. by the memory of what it used to look like.
Right.
But I always thought it was brilliant that he installed a hatch for his dog to get
the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's a guy that enjoys having a pet.
Absolutely. And the knocking on heaven's door, right? That ends one of the movies. He's like, Riggs, don't you die on me, Riggs.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think that was 2 or 3.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Oh, so good. Such good stuff.
Riggs. And Murtaugh.
And Murtaugh. That's right. And Murtaugh.
Yes. Murtaugh.
Jesus.
Oh,
did you guys ever watch the show, the TV series?
No.
Mm-mm.
They did a TV series. I forget what platform or network.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, I never did.
The first one didn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to. Then I'll quit talking about Lethal Weapon. But I saw Saw in the theater. Knew nothing about it going in. I think it was just on a whim. And so when Danny Glover shows up as one of the characters in that movie, like I hadn't seen him since fucking 84, whenever Lethal Weapon came out.
Yeah.
And he's playing a cop. So like there's all these chase scenes. So again, I'm watching this hyper violent movie, which, it had its flaws, but I'm like, whatever, I'll just go along with this shit. And then Danny Glover's running down hallways. I'm like, nope, this is bullshit. There's no way that guy is going to catch this fucker who's like 40 feet ahead of him. And they're showing like bouncing off walls. Like, this movie's over. The bad guy's going to get away because fucking Danny Glover's out of shape. But carry on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. That's the best. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, Christmas is coming up. Watch Saw again.
Watch Saw.
And just watch the scenes with Danny Glover. Like, why are you chasing anybody? Why are you not in like just kneeling down? Like, if I don't shoot him, I'll just pretend I never saw him. So why are you bothering?
Oh, why aren't you in the van? You need to be in the van. You need to be in the van, Danny Glover. You
are too old for this shit.
You're not the foot chase guy anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, what were you talking about?
Me or Tom? I think it was Tom.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Football. Huh?
Yep, exactly.
Hey, oh, by the way, Ash, thanks for putting the gentleman who fell into my ear. That's been my earworm for the last week. And I've been very happy with it.
What is it?
It was a single in 1995.
Okay.
By
4.
Was it 4? 1994 by model/actress Mila Jovovich. And it's such an earworm. It's just like the violin gets stuck in your head, just over and over and over again.
Wait, is Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element? Is that her?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Resident Evil movies.
Oh, love that movie. It's a great movie.
She's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we were talking about this song a couple weeks ago when we were recording, because I tracked down the album and a guy shipped it to me. Mm-hmm. And so Tom foolishly listened to it, and now it gets trapped in your skull, and it just does not leave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. I don't know why she never did more music.
I don't know. The whole album's good, actually, and she wrote every song on it. So kudos to her.
It's wild. I mean, it's a great album, but it's like very unique. It's like, holy shit, where did this come from?
Right?
Each song is very unique. I'm not sure how or why. She stopped pursuing, at least as a side gig, releasing albums, because I know she became obviously a supermodel and
a big time actress. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something equally terrible to get stuck in your head. Oh, female of the species.
Oh no!
That xylophone part. Yes. Oh, it's in there now, isn't it? You can hear it.
Female of the species is more deadly than the male. That one.
Yes, that's the one. Oh, it's gonna be.
I'm drawing a blank on it. It's not.
Space Hog?
No, it's not Space Hog.
That was a legitimate guess. Do not mock me.
I've never heard of it.
It's God damn it. White something, maybe?
White snake?
Yes. It is a white snake, Peggy. Thank you.
It's the band is Space.
Space.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Space.
No. Space?
Yes. Yep. Oh, yeah. It's going to get stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah, it already is. I'm singing it 3 weeks from now already in my head.
And cursing my name.
Ash.
Curse you. Oh, this Space. I'll be damned.
Huh.
Yeah, okay.
Shock, horror. Yeah. Oh, that's a great song. That was a great song.
Mm-hmm.
The female
something,
of the
supernatural power
is more deadly than the rest.
Exactly.
Yes,
Tom.
that's exactly it, Tom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shock, horror. Shock, horror.
We're totally going to get sued by Space now.
I do have a question.
No, we've given them adequate representation. The song is by Space.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my question. All right.
Yeah.
So the homeless man that Bill Murray finds under the grate of the city, right? Clarence, yeah. Okay, so how the hell did he get from... He was sitting outside of Claire's Goodwill shop, like outside the homeless shelter. All of a sudden, he's underground in the grates, and there's icicles hanging down, and he's got icicles on him, and he's frozen to death. Why did he get down there? How did he get down there?
That's where he lived. That's where he lived.
He had that Christmas tree.
Yeah, his little Christmas tree was down there.
That was like the gut punch, where he's like sitting next to his Christmas tree
with his little electric blanket, which clearly was not on anymore.
Right.
I'm so sad. Yeah.
And that was the thing. And again, it was one of those. Wow. Okay.
But it was also. I mean, I don't know. Did you guys also find it very beautiful the way they did that, like makeup and set that way? I thought it was gorgeous.
Framed wonderfully.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shot, all those shots under that grate was done just brilliant and beautiful.
Right.
Agreed.
Yep. It was so well done.
And then at the end, I didn't catch this before, but when he's up there in the rafters with Chris, with Carol Kane, Christmas.
Yeah, they're both floating their angel kind of ghost things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I meant to. Like, hey. So I swear
I'm dead, but I got a new suit and I'm flying.
I didn't do like a whole lot of looking up because I wanted to come in like with not a lot of, outside fodder from the web about this movie. But I did look up, but one thing caught my eye, and it was that Carol Kane hated shooting those scenes with Bill Murray. She hated beating up on him. And
I have no doubt.
In fact, would like take little timeouts and just go cry for like 20 minutes because she was so distraught.
Oh, God.
I mean, can you imagine? Wow. Like you're beating up on her.
Because she does it just so brilliantly.
I know.
Right?
I know. And that's just, I think that just speaks to kind of the toll that sometimes acting takes on people who really take it seriously and really get into it. I thought that was beautiful. Like that.
Because she was, I think, one of the standout, like her and Buster Poindexter are two of the total standouts of that entire thing. Carol King, with her flying across the room with her little puppy arms, like she's dog paddling into the sky, and then
kicks him right in the balls. Oh, it's beautiful. It's just poetry in motion.
She's brilliant.
Yeah,
and Carol Kane is one of my favorites of all time. I've loved her in everything I've seen her in. Yeah.
Was she on Saturday Night Live for a while? Or no, she never made it to Saturday Night Live.
I don't think she was a cast member.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't think so.
Officially.
No, but wasn't she in
like steady gigs?
What's the group I'm trying to think of? The SCTV? Was she part of that group?
No.
Oh, she was also the older woman in The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she was Billy Crystal's wife.
Over the castle.
Yeah.
Make it all work.
Liar!
It'll take a miracle.
I'm not a witch.
I'm not a witch.
Your wife.
True love, Max. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in that and a bunch of other shit. And then more recently, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
Another great show.
And then she played Penguin's mom in Gotham.
Really? Oh, whoa. Yeah. How was she in that?
Oh.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can only imagine. That's so cool.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, before we, I just want to say it one more time. Alfre Woodard.
Yeah. Solid.
Genius.
But overall, okay, closing thoughts. I think I appreciate this movie now more as an adult than I did back then. Again, I never really got into it when it first came out, but now I love it. It was a fantastic movie, and I'm so glad you brought it up. Otherwise, I would have cruised right by without watching it this year.
Good. Add this to the list.
Yeah.
It's a great film. I think. Yeah. My memory of it was very positive, and so I'm personally very glad that I brought it up, and personally very glad that it didn't suck.
Right.
All these years later,
Okay. So for the group, what's your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
Tough call.
Like, what's one that if you see it and it's on, you're going to sit there and watch it?
For me,
yeah,
Christmas Story.
Okay, Pegs.
Okay,
but
go ahead. Yeah,
can we give a top three?
Please, please, yes. That'd be great. Okay.
Because two of my top three are actually quite guilty pleasures.
Die Hard.
Well, Die Hard, I'll watch that whenever it's on.
Okay.
That's not seasonal to me. That's, again, I do consider it a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those I'll watch whenever.
Okay, so top three.
Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Love Actually.
All right.
And The Holiday.
Did you?
And yes, I'm straight.
Did you see that they might be coming out with a sequel, or they are coming out with a sequel to The Holiday? They're going to do it with the original cast. It's a sequel.
Uh-huh. I'm leery of that.
Well, you shall go in with a cautious mind. Cautionary tale. Okay, can I do mine?
What about you, Peggy?
All right.
Top 3.
Okay, top 3. Yep. Die Hard, Christmas Vacation, Elf.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Elf.
Fucking solid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Solid.
Mm-hmm. And you, Ash?
Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And Die Hard.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Nightmare Before Christmas is so fucking good that it gets
2 spots. Okay, all right, and Die Hard.
So, one recommendation. So, when Disney Plus first came out, they had this promo thing where like you could buy 2 years worth of it for some stupid amount of money. It cost me like $3 a month.
Nice.
So yeah. So one of the first like made for Disney Plus movies they had was Noel. It was a Christmas movie with what's her name, Anna Kendrick. Bill Hader plays Santa's kids, and it is fucking hilarious.
That is that's really good.
So watch Noel if you haven't seen it yet. I highly recommend it.
Anna Kendrick's a hoot in anything she's in.
Oh, she's so funny. She has like that self-deprecating sense of humor that I love.
But not like, but not where it's uncomfortable. It's,
right.
Yeah, she's perfectly got that balance.
So,
awesome.
So I'm finding a Noel in 2004 with Chaz Palminteri and Susan Sarandon.
No.
Okay, there's also a Noel in 2019. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay,
it's the one. Noel with L-E at the end.
Yes, got it. So Noelle. Got it. And I see Anna's picture, and there's Bill Hader, which, oh my gosh. Talk about if he shows up on the doorstep, I'm gone. I think Bill Hader is just like, I think he's amazing. He's just amazing.
Are you a Barry fan?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for the next season. Yeah. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Tom, you probably haven't watched it because he's an anti-hero, right?
No, this may surprise you. I've watched the first several episodes.
And you just could not get into it.
It just didn't take.
All right, so we ran into some technical difficulties, but we're back. And I swear to God, one of these days I'm going to YouTube how to edit audio and learn how to do this. So,
okay.
Yes. So before we crash again, Peggy, thank you so much for stopping by. This was awesome. I'm so glad we were able to pull this off.
It was awesome for me as well. Thank you. I love coming on to talk to both of you. It's always I've been so excited, Tom, to surprise you. And Ash, just thank you so much. My family knows that I'm doing this tonight, and they're like, "Oh, you're on a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on a podcast." But so thank you. This is always so much fun. So thank you.
Peggy, it's so great talking to you and seeing you. I'm so happy. Such a wonderful surprise. So, Mike, thank you very much. This has been awesome.
I do what I can. So, any final thoughts? We're wrapping up the year. Next time we come back, it'll be January, and we'll be back talking about people doing stupid shit. So, any closing remarks for 2022?
I'll defer to Peggy at this point.
What do you got?
Well,
as the guest, she goes first.
I will just say that I'm looking forward to another year of Bum's Corner Coast to Coast. Whoop whoop! And I also want to say that I know things have been weird. They've been weird for the past however long now, but there's always something to be grateful for, and I am very grateful for your friendship. So thank you, gentlemen, both of you.
Aww. Thanks.
Thank you, Peggy. We are grateful for you.
Yeah, we have a reunion coming up this summer, too.
Are we going to actually have one?
As far as I know. I mean,
Sweet.
It's 35 years.
Yeah.
God, you guys are getting old.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I don't know. It's crazy.
I'm actually planning on attending this time. The first time since the 5. So.
Oh, my gosh. That's so exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be stupid fun.
Well, I've been out of town for a while, so it's been a little difficult.
I know, but it's good, you know.
But yeah, this is definitely what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully 2023 brings, an exodus from California and bright and wonderful things for everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Goodwill towards mankind. Ad nauseum.
Oh, God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
What about your closing thoughts, Ash? What do you got?
I think so very little. This was it was a pretty amazing year. A lot of cool stuff happened. I'm happier than I've been in ages, and I fully intend to carry that into the next year too. And because I don't want Tom to be sad, we're going to keep doing this podcast for the forever and ever.
It's all
So I feel like it's my duty now to carry on. So
because if we don't, then I'm on my own, to do my own podcast, and Jesus God knows who knows what that's going to be. I need to be grounded, I need to be corralled and leashed. If I just thought hey Tom, here's the internet, go. Oh, dude, my career would be over. My life would leave. I'd self-destruct. I can't do this, untethered.
So what you're saying is you'd start your own true crime podcast?
Oh, probably.
But it'll be crimes that I committed. And then just leave clever little breadcrumbs until I got caught or didn't, and then would laugh at them and have to change my name. It's using aliases and oh God, it's just be really a lot more time than I have. Really,
that's kind of an awesome idea for a scripted story, like somebody that commits murders and then puts them on their own podcast.
Yeah,
I
love it.
You're welcome.
All right,
2%. That's all I'm asking.
2%.
Go for it. I'll spit on ideas. You run and
right. You put the ball in the tee. I'll smack it into the pitcher.
You smack it. And, the ones that don't put the sand to the rough, just give me a little something. Give me a taste.
All right. So in about a month or so, we'll come back with making fun of people that got arrested or almost arrested for being stupid. And Peggy, you are welcome. I know I say this all the time, but anytime you want to come on, you just say the word and you're in.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so kind. But,
you got the link. Just bust it.
I know. Well, be careful what you wish for, okay?
Okay, monkey's paw. I think we'll be okay if you stop it once in a while in front of people.
I'll bring you more homeless stats.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, because that was uplifting.
Yeah, I know, right? It's such a nice thing to think about.
Of all the tangents we've taken.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. That was probably the most poignant yet.
Oh, golly.
Okay.
Love you, Peggy.
So, we ran long. I'm going to have to splice this somehow. So, again, for Tom Arnold and Peg McCort, I am Mike Eshelman. Have a great fucking Christmas, everybody, you sick weirdos.
Huzzah!
Whoop, whoop. Peace out.
Red button.